You wake up. The first thing you do? Check your phone. You tell yourself, just 5 minutes, just to see what's happening. But before you know it, minutes turn into 30 minutes, then an hour. Your hand moves on its own, scrolling, tapping, liking, sharing. The world around you fades. You don't even know how you got here. But deep down, you feel something strange, like you weren't fully in control. That's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. It's by design. What if I told you that from the moment you open that app, an AI was already controlling what you see, what you think, even what you believe? And what if I told you it knows you better than you know yourself? Every addict tells themselves the same lie. I can stop whenever I want. But addiction isn't just about willpower. It's about design. Social media isn't just an app. It's an experiment. An experiment designed to keep you online for as long as possible. And the results are terrifying. Before social media, businesses made money by selling a product. You paid for it, they gave you something in return. Simple. But then, something changed. A new business model emerged, one that didn't need you to buy anything at all. Because if the product is free, you are the product. In the early 2000s, tech companies realized that the most valuable thing in the world wasn't money. It was attention. And if they could control your attention, they could control everything. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. These platforms weren't built to entertain you. They were built to own your time, to keep you scrolling, clicking, engaging, endlessly. You ever wonder why social media feels impossible to put down? The answer lies in dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical in your brain that makes you feel pleasure. The same chemical released when you eat, when you fall in love, when you win a game. It's what makes life feel rewarding. And social media companies? They know exactly how to exploit it. Ever heard of a variable reward system? It's the same psychological trick used in slot machines. Every time you refresh your feed, your brain asks, "Will I see something good?" Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. But the uncertainty? That's what keeps you hooked. It's why you keep checking your phone, even when you don't need to. It's why you tell yourself, just one more scroll. And it's why, even after hours of scrolling, you never feel satisfied. Because the goal isn't to make you happy. It's to make you want more. The longer you stay on an app, the more money they make. So how do they keep you trapped? The answer is personalization. Behind every social media app, an AI algorithm is tracking you. It watches how long you pause on a video, what posts make you angry, what topics make you comment. It builds a psychological profile of you. And once it understands what makes you tick, it feeds you exactly what will keep you engaged. Not what's good for you, not what's true, but what will make you stay just a little longer. In the past, when you read a newspaper or watch TV, eventually, it ended. You ran out of pages. The show came to a close. Your brain had a natural stopping point. But social media is infinite. The infinite scroll was invented for one reason: to remove the moment when you decide, "I'm done." Because if there's no stopping point, you never stop. And as long as you keep scrolling, they keep winning. The scariest part? Most people don't even realize they're addicted. Ask yourself, when was the last time you went a full day without checking social media? When was the last time you sat in silence, without feeling the urge to grab your phone? Because if you can't stop, maybe you were never in control to begin with. You think you decide what you see. You think you control what you click. But the truth is, the algorithm already knows what you're going to do. Every interaction, every pause, every hesitation, every rage click is fed into an AI system that builds a digital model of you. It knows when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're lonely, and it feeds on that information. Because the longer you stay on the platform, the more valuable you become. You are not a user, you are the product. When social media first started, it was simple. You posted something and your friends saw it. They posted something and you saw it. But as these platforms grew, there was one problem: too much content. So in 2009, Facebook introduced a new system, the algorithmic feed. Instead of showing you posts in chronological order, it showed you what the AI thought you'd like the most. At first, it seemed helpful. But what nobody realized was that this AI wasn't just choosing content. It was shaping behavior. And soon, every social media company followed. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, each one using machine learning to keep you online for as long as possible. And the key to that? Personalization. Think about the last time you clicked on a video, the last time you liked a post. It felt like a small action, a simple choice, but behind the screen, something was watching, learning, recording. Because every time you engage, the algorithm adds another piece to your psychological profile. What time do you wake up? The algorithm knows. How long do you watch sad videos before switching to comedy? The algorithm knows. What type of content makes you angry enough to comment? The algorithm knows. And every piece of data, every tap, every swipe, every moment of hesitation feeds into an AI that creates a digital version of you, a clone, a model, a prediction of your future behavior. And the scariest part? It knows you better than you know yourself. Why is it so hard to stop scrolling? Why do you tell yourself, just 5 more minutes, only to lose an hour, sometimes more? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you have no self-control. It's because social media is engineered to hijack your brain. And at the heart of that hijacking is one chemical: dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that makes you feel pleasure. It's released when you eat something delicious, when you win a game, when you fall in love. It's what makes life feel rewarding. But dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's about wanting. It's what drives you to seek rewards, to chase something, to crave something. And social media companies, they know exactly how to exploit that. Because if they can keep you wanting more, they can keep you online forever. Every time you get a like, a comment, a notification, your brain gets a small hit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels rewarding. But what happens when you don't get a like? When you refresh your feed and see nothing new, you feel disappointed, empty, almost anxious. And what do you do next? You scroll again, refresh again, chase that next hit. Sound familiar? It should, because this is the exact same mechanism that keeps gamblers hooked on slot machines, a concept known as variable rewards. Sometimes you get a jackpot. Sometimes you get nothing. And that unpredictability, that's what makes it addictive. It's why social media isn't just engaging, it's compulsive. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. Think about the last time you scrolled through TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts for hours. Did you feel good afterward? Or did you feel empty? That's because dopamine-driven activities don't create happiness. They create desire. You aren't using social media because it makes you happy. You're using it because it makes you want more. And that endless craving is exactly what keeps you trapped. Have you ever noticed how social media feels angrier than real life? How every time you log in, there's a new controversy, a new debate, a new reason to be upset. That's not an accident. It's not just the world getting worse. It's the algorithm, and it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Because if there's one thing social media has learned, it's that rage keeps you engaged. In 2018, researchers at MIT studied what kind of content spreads fastest online. What they found was disturbing. False, sensationalist news spreads 6 times faster than the truth. And the reason? Emotion. The posts that go viral aren't the ones that inform. They're the ones that provoke. Anger, shock, fear. These emotions make people react. They make people comment. They make people share. And to an algorithm, that's all that matters. Because engagement means profit. And rage is the most profitable emotion of all. The more you engage with content, the more the algorithm feeds you similar content. If you watch one conspiracy video, you're recommended 10 more. If you read one extreme political take, suddenly your entire feed is filled with it. And before you know it, you're in an echo chamber, a world where every post confirms your beliefs and makes the other side seem crazy. That's why social media is making us more divided than ever. Not because people are more extreme, but because the algorithm rewards extremism. Every time you get outraged online, your brain releases dopamine. Just like with addiction, your body learns to crave that feeling. That's why so many people feel constantly angry, constantly anxious, constantly at war with strangers on the internet. Because they don't even realize they've been conditioned to feel this way. The algorithm doesn't just show you content. It shapes your emotions, hijacks your reality, controls how you see the world. And the scariest part? You might not even notice it happening. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Social media isn't free. You don't pay with money. You pay with your time, your data, and your behavior. Because in today's world, attention is the most valuable currency. And the companies that control it, control everything. Think about it. Social media companies don't make money when you log in, they make money when you stay. Every second you spend on an app is being monetized. Every click, every interaction, every moment of hesitation is being tracked, analyzed, and sold to advertisers. That's why social media platforms don't just want your attention, they want all of it. Because the longer you stay, the more ads they can show you. The more ads they show you, the more money they make. And to keep advertisers happy, they need to keep you addicted. You might think, it's just ads, who cares? But it's so much deeper than that. These companies aren't just tracking what you like. They're tracking who you are, your fears, your insecurities, your biggest desires. Everything about you is being recorded, stored, and sold to the highest bidder. And that information, it's being used to control your decisions. We used to believe that money was power, that those who controlled the economy controlled the world. But today, the real power lies in controlling influence. And in the 21st century, the people with the most influence aren't politicians. They aren't world leaders. They're the ones who control the algorithm. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you went a full day without checking your phone? When was the last time you sat in silence, without feeling the urge to grab your device? If you can't remember, you're not alone. Because we aren't just using social media anymore, we're dependent on it. And the scariest part? We never agreed to this. In the past, addiction was something we associated with substances, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. But today, we are facing a new kind of addiction. An addiction so widespread, so invisible, that most people don't even realize they're trapped. It's called behavioral addiction. Unlike drug addiction, behavioral addiction doesn't hijack your body. It hijacks your mind. It keeps you coming back, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have to. And social media is designed to exploit this vulnerability. Ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket, only to check and realize there was no notification? That's called phantom vibration syndrome. Your brain has been conditioned to expect constant stimulation. So much so that even when nothing is there, your body tricks you into thinking it is. And this is just one example of how social media is rewiring our minds. We are becoming more anxious, more distracted, more incapable of sitting in silence. Because the algorithm has trained us to always be waiting for the next hit. And if you think this is just a personal habit, think again. Right now, half the world is addicted to social media. The average person spends 2.5 hours a day on social media. That's 912 hours a year. That's 38 full days, more than a month of your life, spent staring at a screen. And the effects are devastating. Rising rates of depression. Skyrocketing anxiety. A generation that is more connected than ever, yet lonelier than ever before. And the people who built these platforms, they know exactly what they've done. At this point, you might be asking yourself, is there any way out? Or have we already lost? Are we forever trapped in a world where algorithms dictate our thoughts, our actions, and even our emotions? The truth is, it's not too late. But escaping won't be easy, because this isn't just about social media anymore. This is about reclaiming your mind. The first step to breaking free is awareness. Most people don't even realize they're addicted. They don't question why they reach for their phone first thing in the morning, why they check notifications before bed, why they can't sit in silence without feeling restless. But once you see the system for what it is, you can start to resist it. The algorithm only controls you when you let it. The moment you recognize its influence, you start taking back control. The next step? Disconnect. Not forever, not completely, but enough to remind yourself what life was like before the algorithm took over. Try this. Go one full day without social media. See how it feels. At first, it'll be uncomfortable. Your brain will crave the dopamine. You'll reach for your phone without thinking. But then, something incredible happens. You start noticing things again. You become present in conversations. Your mind becomes clearer. The fog starts to lift. Because the less control the algorithm has over you, the more control you have over your own life. But here's the bigger question. Where do we go from here? Technology isn't going away. AI is only going to get smarter, faster, more persuasive. So the real battle is not about deleting our accounts or throwing away our phones. It's about demanding change. It's about creating a world where technology serves us, instead of the other way around. Because the truth is, the future isn't written yet. We still have a choice, but only if we wake up, before it's too late. So now, the question is, what will you do? Will you keep living under the illusion of control? Or will you start questioning the system that's been manipulating you all along? Because at the end of the day, AI may be powerful, but the most powerful thing in the world is a mind that refuses to be controlled.